The letters GH in English can be a bit of a headache if you're learning the language, or if you're fluent but don't understand why or when these letters make different sounds. Hi, I'm Tony, a linguistics PhD student, and I'm here to share with you what I know about language. In this video, we're going to get into GH, what sounds it makes, why it makes those sounds, and how to determine which sounds it makes in which words. Let's get into it. There are two ways that the GH spelling came to us in English. The first is from the Old English h. This is a sound that when the Latin alphabet was adapted to English, they had to come up with some way to represent this sound that didn't exist in Latin. What they came up with was GH. This sound is found in many other languages, like in Scottish loch, Spanish orejas, or Mandarin ho. The second way that GH came to us in English was from some people who decided to write it that way once upon a time. At the beginning of words, this GH just makes a regular G sound, g. Today, there are three ways that GH can be said, as g, f, or silently. Let's go through these one by one. First, g. Again, this is found at the beginning of a word. Words like ghost, ghastly, ghetto, and gi. This is the easy one, and it's not going to throw you for any loops. On the other hand, we have GH when it's not at the beginning of a word. When it shows up in the middle or at the end of a word, GH can either sound like f or like nothing. A good way to talk about these options is to start off with a group of words that look very similar, but where the GH does different things in different items in the list. The first one we'll look at is though. Though it has 6 letters, though only has 2 sounds, but the vowel sound is what we call a diphthong. So it starts in one place and moves to another. The first sound is between the teeth, and it makes a buzzing sound, th, and the vowel sound is o. This is the back sound that moves up a little bit as you get from the beginning of the vowel to the end of it, o, and you end up with though. In this word, of course, GH doesn't make a sound. Similar to though is thorough, but there are 2 important differences here. Most obviously, you have this OR here, and that comes through as It's not pronounced or, but It's reduced, thorough. But the other important difference here is that this TH here doesn't make the same sound as the one in though. In though, the TH is voiced, so it causes buzzing between the teeth. Th. In thorough, the TH is voiceless, which means that the tongue is still between the teeth, but the noise that it makes is much softer. We have th in though and th in thorough. But the ends of these 2 words sound the same. Though, o, thorough, o. The GH doesn't make any noise. Next, we have thought, which has a lot of the same written elements, but differs in 2 ways from the 2 words we've already discussed. The beginning TH is the voiceless, like in thorough. We have th. The first difference here is what the vowels are doing. Instead of o, in thought, we have ah. This is a low back vowel, ah. And the other important difference is that it ends with a stop, t, thought. You might notice that at the end of words, T doesn't always get released. It doesn't always make the t sound. Instead, you form the t, but you don't let it go. So it becomes thought. At the end of that word, my tongue is where the T should be made, but I then don't release it. A bonus for this category is ought, which means should. The next word in the group is through. The TH on this word is like thorough and thought. It's voiceless. Then we have our R, and here again, the vowel changes. Instead of being O or ah, it's oo, which is a back high vowel. And then the GH again is silent, through. Finally, we get to the 2 members of the group which have the GH pronounced as f. First is tough. It begins with a T instead of a TH. Yet again, we have a new vowel sound. And this one is tough. This sound is made in the middle of the mouth. And this is the first of our subset where the GH actually makes a f sound, tough. Other words that group with this word are rough and enough. Last in this group, we have trough. A trough is either the low point in a wave or something that animals eat out of. The first sound again is a t. Then we have our r, and here we have the same sound as in thought, ah. But in this word, the GH does give us a f sound, trough. Another that patterns like trough is cough. These are maybe some of the hardest words in English to remember how to spell and how to say, because there are so many different ones that look almost exactly the same. But if you keep these groupings in mind, it'll help you out. Now, let's talk about a few other words that have either a f GH or a silent GH. On the f side, we have laugh and draft. These are both said with a low front vowel, laugh, draft. For words where GH doesn't make a sound, we have 2 common categories. We'll call one the I group. These are words that end in T and have a GH in the middle that isn't pronounced. Words in this group include light, fight, height, right, and night. A word like these, but without the T on the end, is high. Then we have a group of words which sometimes has a T on the end, sometimes doesn't, but the thing that unites them is the EIGH spelling. This includes words like eight, wait, freight, but also a word like way and neigh, which is the sound a horse makes. Unfortunately, there isn't a rule for how GH is going to sound in different words, but study these groupings, and when you find words which either fit into a group or create their own group, add them in. In summary, GH only represents 3 pronunciations in English: g, f, and silence. When trying to figure out if a word has one or another of the pronunciations, listen closely, but realize they can only be one of these 3. You can choose from this small set instead of guessing. Thank you for watching. Comments or questions? Drop them below. Let me know what other GH words you've struggled with. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you in the next one.